Welcome back to episode 109 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. Kyle, we are less than 48 hours away from the new year 2025. Um, I didn't tell you this, but we are doing a New Year's Eve extravaganza, and we will not get off of here until the clock hits midnight on the East Coast tomorrow. So, Kyle, hope you got your snacks because we are doing this for the next 48 hours. No, I'm just kidding. Um, we got stuff that we want to discuss today. We have a couple signings that happened. Um, but before we get into that, myself and Kyle, as always, Kyle, how was your Christmas? I haven't seen you since the 23rd. So hope you
Yeah,
had a good Christmas with you and your loved ones.
yeah. Obviously same goes to you. Yeah, no, it was a much different Christmas than in recent years. It was my first Christmas married. Number one, first Christmas in my own house. It was definitely different, but not different in a bad way. Obviously grown up shit. It all comes with it, I guess. But no, it was good, man. I got to spend some time with my family and my wife's family. So it was good as always. Yeah, and now we got a bunch of stuff to look forward to in the 2025 baseball season and year as a whole. But before we get into all that, how are you doing, Melo?
Doing good. Got to see both sides of the family. Very nice. Um, still, I haven't seen a lot of my family since the end of the baseball season. So we were talking about it, stuff, getting all excited. So um, Christmas was good. Christmas was good. Got this beautiful, beautiful little car flag right here. I like it. Yeah,
Very
I
nice.
like it. I got a Jordan Love jersey. I like that. Of course, I got my little buddy here with me, the trophy. Um, it was a good Christmas. Very, very nice. And also, I'm sure you saw, I was at the Kings game yesterday,
I
and I got
did.
to ride the damn Zamboni. That was fun. Second time in 3 years I got to do that. I wasn't 21 the last time I did it, so I had to be on the damn Toyota one. But now because I am an adult, I was on the Bud Light one. So that was fun. And some of my coworkers got to see me, so shout out to them. That was fun. I had the whole family, my parents and my brother there, so that was fun.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna get into these things. We got Teoscar Hernandez, Corbin Burns, Josh Bell, and Gleyber Torres. Well, Gleyber Torres. That those are the three main. But yeah, Josh Bell also signed too. Yay. Um, so, but before we get to that, I just want to take a quick second. And we'll probably do this at the end too, anyways. But what a year it was for us in 2024 at ATD. You mentioned this. You mentioned this off camera a couple weeks ago. You had more of the personal achievements. You got your own place. You got married. I had more of the achievements for my baseball team. Obviously, they won the whole thing this year.
Yeah.
So, although our paths to victory were very different, we still. I would say, I'm speaking for myself. Kyle can be like, no, I had a terrible year. Uh, I had a good 2024. I don't know about you, but I did.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Well, I'll start with the baseball stuff. It was still a very good year. Yeah, my team lost in October when it counts the most, but it was the first year we reached the World Series since '09. I got to see some very very good paths to the World Series and a lot of unforgettable moments. So overall, it was a successful year. Obviously, I wanted it more. I wanted the whole thing, but it is what it is at this point, and I'm looking forward to 2025. But 2024, personally, for me, has been probably the best year yet, man. Um, number one, I got married. Number two, moved out. A lot of big things, and it's been a lot of scary things too. This stuff isn't necessarily the easiest to navigate, but it's been great, man. I can't complain one bit. And then of course, ATD wise, I think ATD has seen a lot of changes this last year.
Yes, it has.
A lot of changes. We saw the departure of some. We brought on some others. It's been a hell of a year for us, but obviously a lot of diversity that never stopped us. You had just mentioned this. We didn't skip 1 week
Nope.
with the ATD Baseball Podcast. We didn't skip 1 week. We were here each and every single week to give you guys the best baseball content we can give you. And we got 2 trips under the belt, which obviously those are just icing on the cake at this point. Content on Instagram, we've seen a huge growth. It's been doing very well. Melo, I know you're pretty up to date on those things, analytics wise, and we're continuing to push out content. It's the same thing, and we plan to do the same for 2025 and beyond. So overall, it was a great year. Um, yeah, it's definitely an unforgettable one. A lot of shit was thrown our way. A lot of shit was thrown our ways personally. But we're still here. Doing what we love, being behind camera, and yeah, obviously it's going to be the same in 2025. But that was definitely my biggest takeaway. It's a lot of growth, and I couldn't be more excited for 2025.
I agree. And listen, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be honest with everybody here. Um, I don't want to leave 2024. I don't. I'm gonna be so sad when we're counting down to midnight tomorrow. I'm gonna be so sad because my baseball team did what nobody thought would be possible to win a championship. Personally, I mean, listen, it's no secret. My baseball team won the championship this year. It was an incredible, memorable season. I was there for most of it. Gonna pat myself on the back here too. There's like 80 home games for the Dodgers this year because of the 2 games they played in Korea, but one of them, I mean, yeah, the 2 games they played in Korea, but one of them counted as a home game. Um, I think I only missed like 5 days. I missed 3 days because of the Cooperstown trip, which completely fine with because look at the stuff that we did over there.
Oh yeah.
I missed one day for my brother's junior college graduation, so of course I had to be there. And then I don't know if you want to consider this missing a day, but I went to the game with my friend, with my best friend. So I don't know if you consider that missing a day. I mean, still got paid, but I got to see my team win a championship this year. I got to be a part of it. It was crazy. I'll never forget 2024 for what my Dodgers did this year. They made me so happy, and it didn't look like that was going to be the case. If you go back and listen to the couple Think Blues that I did during the playoffs, you would have thought the Dodgers were going home again. But um, I'll never forget 2024, man. Like, just I can't stress this enough. Like, what the Dodgers did in 2024, it changed a lot of people's lives. It did,
Oh yeah.
not just in the team, the organization, the fans. This stigma that has been around this Dodger franchise for the last couple years, it's kind of gone away a little bit. It's been very nice to not have to hear from all the fans, oh, Dodgers just going to choke again this year. Yeah, so it was nice to shut up those people for at least one season because, if we lose next year, they're going to come right back to us. But um, I'll never forget it, man. Like like I said, I don't want to leave 2024 just for that one reason. I know you have to move on, and hopefully there'll be better things ahead. But um, I don't want to leave 2024. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I just want to say thank you once again to the Dodgers for making this little kid happy, and not make me want to jump off the roof of my house again. So thank you for not giving me those thoughts again, because I've been close, but thankfully we didn't have to get to that point. So, but anyways, we'll move on from that. Happy New Year, 2025 almost there. Looking forward to it. Like I said, I know you mentioned. Do I look at the analytics? Yes, I look at the analytics. We are going to hit 25,000 followers just as we hit the year 2025. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So maybe that's a sign for something. Who knows? But um, like I said, we got more stuff coming in 2025. But put a pause on that. We got stuff that we want to talk about. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get in to Corbin Burns. that was kind of a bombshell the other night. Don't ask me when it happened. I think it happened like Friday or something. But anyways, he
Yeah, and
signed.
this
Yeah.
this is also where we can give a little bit of a shout out and kind of how we were talking about beforehand. Um, if everybody knows from now on, Mikey is now part of ATD, and
Yes.
we brought him on board last year, and he's the one who posted that. I believe it was at like 3 a.m. my time, somewhere around there. So just quick shout out and kind of to you know come full circle with the whole conversation we had beforehand. But yes, that was a shock. Continue, Melo.
Yes. Yeah. Just because you don't see Mikey on Kyle's brother, just because you don't see him on the screen a lot, doesn't mean he's not doing stuff. He's doing stuff for us, and he kicks ass, and
Oh
he
yeah.
does a tremendous job. Corbin Burns, 6 years, 210, with an opt out after 2 years to the Arizona Diamondbacks. I did not see this coming. Just gonna jump right into it. Did not see it coming. Um, however, I guess because he's from, I think he said it was Scottsdale, Arizona. I think that's where he said he was from.
Hmm.
Um, so he feels close to home. But I never knew that the Diamondbacks were even interested.
Mm.
Uh, Sorry, I'm just reading a tweet here. I'm just reading a tweet here from the Roki Sasaki, and we're on Roki Sasaki watch. But um, getting back to Corbin Burns, didn't see it coming. Did not see it coming. It's a great move for the Diamondbacks. You know, um, I honestly thought his contract was going to start with a 3. I really did, but um, it's kind of perfect, because listen, the Diamondbacks are going to have some decisions to make soon with the rest of the rotation in the upcoming years with Gallen, Brandon Fott. So at least having Corbin Burns here for the next 2 years kind of gives them a little bit of some leeway. Like, okay, yeah, we might lose Gallen or we might lose Fott in free agency, but we still have one of the best pitchers in baseball in Corbin Burns. That's going to be, you probably slide him in to the 1 or 2 spot. It'll be Gallen and Burns, or maybe Burns and Gallen, however you want to put it. But if you want to watch great baseball, you better pay attention to the National League West, man, because these teams are stacked. These teams are stacked. Obviously, we know what the Dodgers have done with re-signing Teoscar, which we'll get in a little bit, bringing in Blake Snell. Let's see about the Padres. They might be shedding payroll this offseason. Dylan Cease might be on the move. Who knows? They might flip Luis Ariz again, but they're still pretty good as of right now. And then you got this Arizona Diamondbacks team that, had they not got off to that horrific start, and had they not really collapsed at the end of September, they would have been in the postseason for the second straight year. And again, even though that's still a dangerous club, with Corbin Carroll leading the top of that team, and now you add one of the best pitchers in baseball. It's scary. It's scary, and it goes to show you that even though, because again, I heard this thing when the Dodgers re-signed Teoscar, deferrals, ruining baseball. But the Diamondbacks are one of the ringleaders of this ongoing TV stuff that is going on. They're losing their TV rights. That's lost revenue that they don't have to spend anymore. But the Diamondbacks were still able to go out there and sign Corbin Burns for a massive deal. Other opt out, yes, but um, I personally love this move. I mean, I hate it because he's coming to my division, but it's good for the Diamondbacks, and it goes to show that, listen, man, any team can spend money, and Diamondbacks are going for it again in 2025, as they should. I think they see a San Diego team that's kind of reeling a little bit. I really think that. You know, maybe the Padres kind of regret some of those contracts they gave out to Cronenworth and Bogarts, and they're gonna have to start shedding some payroll here soon. So I think the Diamondbacks see that as an opportunity. All right, cool. Like, let's go get one of the best pitchers in baseball, and let's retool and get ready for 2025. But overall, this is a good signing. I just hate it. He's in my damn division now because he's a damn good pitcher.
Yeah, so for me personally, this obviously came as a shock. I woke up the next morning and was like, "Damn, the Diamondbacks," Um, But damn, like this, it fits, man. I can't express that enough. He fits that Arizona rotation very nicely. Um, they're going into 2025 with a rotation looking like Burns, Gallen, Kelly, and then I believe it goes to
Eduardo
is
Rodriguez.
yeah, Eduardo Rodriguez, and then Brandon Fott slash Jordan Montgomery, depending on which way they want to go.
Forgot
Um,
about him.
yeah, this is a very nice rotation. I like this a lot. Zach Gallen has proven he can be an ace, and now he can kind of like the weight's off of his shoulders at least for the next 2 years. He gets to be in that number two slot, and Corbin Burns fits in there very nicely. I can't express that enough. Um, and obviously they still have a very decent lineup. Yeah, they lost Christian Walker, but they have a very good young core out there with Alex Thomas, Corbin Carroll, and we expressed how much we loved the Josh Naylor move last week. You know, this team is looking good. I like what they have, and it was kind of a move that they had to make to be competitive in the NL West. Um, and before we move on here, I kind of want to touch on this too. We have seen the American League get weaker and weaker
Yep.
and weaker, and the National League is just stacked, man. You have the NL East, which is uh, consistently been a good division, and now you have another division stacked in the NL West. These divisions and wild card races are going to be very fun to watch in the National League. Um, you know, Obviously Corbin Burns, he was with Baltimore last year, and now he's going to the National League. He gets me out of my division, and he's going to the National League. Um, yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on that. We've seen that a lot this offseason. These
Yeah.
National League teams are getting stacked, and the American League is just kind of it's up for grabs right now, which obviously is good in my book. I'm happy about it, but yeah, Corbin Burns to Arizona. I like this a lot, and also too to round this out, that contract is not as good as what I thought. This is a very team friendly contract for a pitcher of Corbin Burns' caliber. Um, I was kind of going off of the range of Garrett Cole. Maybe even a little less, a little more, but I was definitely looking at that 309 number, and that's what I thought he'd get. But obviously, that was not the case, and I love it for Arizona. I can't express that enough. This fit is just it's perfect on both sides.
He took less money to be with Arizona because I think the report was from either Nightingale or Heyman. Apparently, the Blue Jays and the Giants had higher offers,
Hmm.
and he chose to go to Arizona, where he's from.
Yeah,
Comfortable, spring training there every year. So there you go.
I yeah.
Now let me put on my Dodgers hat. You know what I say to that? Corbin Burns, Corbin Carroll. It doesn't matter. Dodgers in four. Damn it. It don't matter. Don't matter. It's okay. Yeah, it's probably not okay, but uh, that's a damn good signing. But yeah, good for the Diamondbacks. So they're not poor.
Mm-mm.
Moving on. Finally, here we go. Teoscar Hernandez, welcome back. 3 years, $66 million. Um, Listen, you guys heard me the last couple weeks. I was getting very frustrated with Teoscar Hernandez. Well, really more his agent, because you said that he wanted to come. He said that he wanted to be back with the Dodgers. I'm like, well, then why did it take so long?
Yeah,
But um, he had every right to test free agency, and I'm not going to be honest with you. Within the last week, I was like, damn, like I don't think Teoscar's going to come back. He's going to the Red Sox or he's going somewhere else. I even heard the Giants. I'm like, well, now we can't have that. But um, my main takeaway is two things. Number one, I'm glad his agent came to his senses, because going into the off season, it's it really felt like what I heard. Teoscar wanted 4 years for 100, somewhere around that range. And obviously the Dodgers are like, well, that's not happening, you know. but I know they added in a fourth year with a fourth year, which is a team option. I would be very surprised if the Dodgers picked that up. Teoscar's going to be like 36 or 37 at that time, unless he's continuing to mash and put up great numbers. I don't think the Dodgers are going to pick that up. But I'm glad his agent came to his senses because, you know, from all the reports initially, the reports were true that yeah, Teoscar wants to be with the Dodgers and the Dodgers want him back. But there was kind of a little bit of a bridge that needed to be formed. There was some distance. Teoscar didn't want deferrals. The Dodgers did, and they were only like a couple $1 million off. And finally, I was starting to hear other reports about offers. It's like, dude, like, excuse me, the Dodgers are still giving you the best deal possible. I know the Mets gave him 2 years for like 30 something each year. So I'm glad his agent came to his senses because you wanted to be with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are giving you the best deal out there. Why don't you just take it? And finally, his agent came to his senses, and Teoscar Hernandez re-signed with the Dodgers. The second point, this had to happen. You heard me say that a lot throughout the season, and you heard me say it during the offseason. Teoscar Hernandez needed to come back to the Dodgers. He had literally the dream season. Led all NL outfielders in home runs, RBIs, and extra base hits. Won, became the first Dodger ever to win the home run derby. Won a Silver Slugger. And most importantly, yeah, he won a World Series. But more than that, he became a fan favorite with Dodger fans everywhere. You saw that at the parade, and you saw that, and I saw that every night throughout the season. He was getting one of the loudest, applauses and cheers. And Kyle, you know this because you're a Yankee fan and your team is in a big market. There's some players that get it. They buy in, not just with the team, but they buy in with the fans and they buy in with the city they play for. And Teoscar Hernandez was exactly that in 2024. He bought in with the team that he was wearing. He bought in with the fans that were there every night, and he bought in with the city. You know, again, I've mentioned this plenty times before. He was crying at the Dodger parade because he was so appreciative of the fans that backed him up all season long and showed love to him and his family. So to me, this is a match made in heaven. This needed to get done. I'm so glad it did. Teoscar Hernandez was the third best signing of the Dodgers during this championship run, behind Ohtani and behind Yamamoto. Third best. And he proved it. And he earned a good payday because of it. One of the main reasons why we won. There were so many times throughout the Dodgers season, there was plenty of fans and even some reporters who work for the team that were saying, where would this Dodger team be without Teoscar Hernandez? I don't know how the next 3 years are going to go, but he was pretty available in 2024. Mookie had his injuries, Freddie had his injuries, Muncy had his injuries, but the one thing that was consistent all season long was two things. One was Shohei Ohtani, and number two was Teoscar Hernandez in left field every night. So happy for Teoscar. He earned that payday, and I'm glad he's back with the Dodgers. And listen, man, this run it back campaign is starting to take shape. It really is. I need a couple more pieces. Resign Kike Hernandez. Get me Roki Sasaki. Get one more bullpen piece, and let's go. Let's run it back in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so obviously say Oscar Hernandez, this was this was a deal that it was never a matter of if, but when, is how it always seemed from the very beginning of the offseason. Teoscar, obviously, like, it was almost painfully obvious of how much he enjoyed being a Dodger, you know. And like you said, he got behind the fans, man. And sometimes that's a little bit more important than these superstar players. Like, yeah, it's
Yep.
it's it's very good to have a mix. You have the Otani, Betts, and Freeman, but there's only so much that they can do. And now you're looking at the second tier of guys, which now is obviously led by Teoscar Hernandez. And that those are the type of players that you want behind your superstars. And for me, it was also a it was just the match was there, man. There was no other place for him to play that made more sense than Los Angeles. Um, yeah, and that's the kind of guy you want. Also, another point I want to make: this deal is like super good. 3 years, 66, really. Like this is the type of outfielder that could get 100 on a 3 4 year deal. But who knows? Maybe behind closed doors, he took less money to remain a Dodger. Um, which very well could have been possible. It's it's a good thing, you know. The Dodgers are running it back with the same squad that they won the World Series with, and that's kind of what you want. If it's not broke, you don't fix it. You add pieces to complement the team, and now you're looking forward to 2025 with the same club that you know can get it done. And that's not even including Shohei Ohtani might pitch next year, which is more likely than it's not. So, this team is only going to get better with the in-house options, and they obviously still have a top farm system in baseball. I believe they came out on the rankings as number 8 in all of baseball. So, the Dodgers all around are, they're a juggernaut, and they're proving that, hey, deferrals or not, we're going to win, and other teams can definitely take some pointers from that. But good for the Dodgers, and I'm so happy for Teoscar Hernandez, man. I really am. It's not often that you get to run it back with the team that you really want to run it back with, especially a team like the Dodgers who's looking to really maybe like cautiously spend money, where it's like, okay, we love Teoscar Hernandez, but we have a really good group of guys here. We don't technically need him, that kind of thing. So I'm glad these two sides got the deal done, and I'm super happy for Teoscar, man. I really am. He's overall a good guy, and he's a really good ball player, and he gets what he wanted. So yeah, good for both sides here, and it just makes sense. It really does.
It does. He would have been one of those players, and it sucks that we're not going to have it with Walker Bueller, but he was one of those players that had we lost him to free agency, number one, I think the fans would have turned on him because
Yeah,
they would have been calling him greedy and stuff. But it would have just been so weird. Again, it's only one day, but not having him at the ring ceremony in March. It's like Teoscar was a big part of this team, and he's not here. He's on another team.
yeah.
So I'm glad, because he's gonna get a big ovation, when he comes back. So um, I'm glad everybody, but I'm glad just for in the context of this topic, I'm glad Teoscar is gonna have that moment with the Dodgers. So it's crazy. He's been in Toronto and he's been in Seattle, but he's gonna get remembered as a Dodger.
Oh yeah,
It's crazy,
for
and it
sure.
only took one season.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more.
All right. Lastly, um, why? Oh, um, Kyle, you can start off this one, but Gleyber Torres is now going to Detroit. It
Yeah,
sucks because I mean the Yankees made it very clear that they were not re-signing him,
yeah,
but Teoscar, I mean Jesus, Gleyber Torres to the Tigers. Kyle, take it away.
yeah.
Show your boy some love. I hope.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Glaber, man,
Wasn't
20.
seeing that on Yankees Twitter.
Yeah, I know, seriously, and that pains me, man. Um, I understand Glaber isn't the best defensively, and he had some rough stretches offensively with the bat. I get it, but this guy's been around since 2016, man. He was the prize prospect that we got back in exchange for Aroldis Chapman from the Chicago Cubs. Um, that was a deal that seemed to work out for both ends. Obviously, the Cubs got their World Series, and we got our second baseman for the next 8 years. You know, yeah, I'm gonna show nothing but love to Gleyber Torres. He he really embodied what it meant to be a Yankee, and we talked about the big market and guys playing into the city and like really buying into it. Gleyber was one of those guys, man. He was a class act every single year. No matter how much bullshit got thrown his way, um, he became more of a liability there towards the end. But I will say the Yankees wouldn't have made it as far as they did last year without him. He kind of put the team on their back after they put him in the leadoff spot, and him and Soto were banging it back and forth. Yeah, and obviously this hits a little home, like a little closer to home for me. Um, a few years ago, I got invited up to a pop up shop with Kingsbread, which is a clothing company, and I'm pretty close with the founder and the co-founder now. But they invited me up to do some interviews with Gleyber Torres, and he was one of my first pro interviews, and yeah, it hits me close, man. It sucks, especially given the fact that it was a 1 year deal and it was 15 million. And that makes me question exactly what the Yankees brass was thinking about, man, because if we can't afford to bring back a 1 year 15 million to a guy who's an all-star and hit 39 homers back in 2019, he's still young. You know, give him a little bit more time or something because there's not many other second base options. So I don't know where the Yankees are going to play here. Obviously they can move Jazz to second, but to get Devin Williams, we ended up trading another one of our pieces that could have slid into second base, one of our top prospects, and it's kind of like, okay, well, where do you go? And a 1 year, 15 million would have been perfect to bring back Gleyber on. It's a prove it deal. If you play well, we'll give you a longer contract, but I guess they were really against the defensive metrics and kind of where he was as a player. From my understandings and hearing more about the situation, he kind of waited for the Yankees to see if they'd reach out, and obviously they never did. And he's now a Tiger. I think he fits this team well. I think he's close with Javi Baez personally, and you get him in there. He's going to be the everyday second baseman. I believe Colt Keith is moving over to third base. Um, he's young enough to still be that young player, but he's a veteran now, and he he provides that veteran experience as well as giving the Tigers a damn good bat in that lineup. I hope him nothing but the best. I really do. I'm going to be rooting for him from Detroit. I hope he does extremely well, and I hope he gets paid next offseason because he deserves it, man. He's a great guy, and he's a great baseball player, and I can't say enough good things about him. This one hits very close to me, specifically for that reason. But yeah, I wish him absolutely nothing but the best, and I think Detroit is a very good home for him. I really do.
I agree. Yeah, like I said, Glaber, we saw, well, you did, but more personally, but we saw this kid come up in 2019 as a rookie, and dude was mashing, man, and it looked like he was going to be another forever Yankee there. Um, it's going to be weird not seeing, um, not seeing him in the pinstripes next year. It really is. Because again, he was one of those, like, okay, we talk about the Yankees, okay, Aaron Judge, Gleyber Torres, yeah, Gleyber Torres. That was one of the first guys you mentioned.
Yeah,
Now he's not going to be there anymore, and it sucks. But flipping over to Detroit, yeah, I like this. I really do. Like, especially coming off the year Detroit had, and Gleyber Torres has been in some big moments with the Yankees, and I always believe in postseason, um, experience, and Gleyber Torres certainly has plenty of it. And I really think he's gonna go out and prove something.
I do too.
I think he felt a little disrespected by the Yankees, and
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like that he would have loved to come back. That's
Oh
what
yeah.
it sounded like. And obviously, this is a 1 year prove it deal, and he'll, if he performs like we think he could, he'll get a massive contract at the end of next year. So look out for Gleyber Torres in Detroit, and yeah, he's gonna fit in very well with that lineup. A team that made the postseason last year, and they're obviously looking to improve. And good for the Tigers. They realize that they're in a window right now.
Yeah.
Division is not great. They made a surprising run almost to the league championship series. they're building off of it as they should. You can easily see teams like that tear it down and like, all right, we got everything we wanted out of this team. We're done.
Yeah,
Not the Tigers. They're going for it as they should. So
100%.
it's good. It sucks for if you're a Yankee fan like Kyle, but
Yeah.
thankfully you're a good level-headed Yankee fan.
Yeah, and also too, I mean, like I said, that's a more personable Yankee to me. Growing up with him and seeing his success that he had early on in his career, and then getting to know him on a more personal level, through media. That was a moment I'm never gonna forget. I have an entire display case from that day. It's very bittersweet for me. But no, Glaber's a guy who's always been a class act, and like I said, man, I really do hope he mashes in Detroit because I know he can. He fits in so well with that lineup, and I still think there's a lot more to Gleyber Torres than what we know, and he kind of showed that in the postseason, and good for him, man. Truly, I wish him absolutely nothing but the best, and I'll be watching, for sure.
Definitely. Um, those were the three topics that we have. Um, but before we go, I just want to close on this. Um, obviously, this is the final episode of 2024. Kyle, what were some of your favorite moments from the baseball season or from ATD?
Oh
I'll
man.
I'll I'll, I'll say things other than the Dodgers winning the World Series because that's too easy, and I'm sure you're getting sick of it.
No, it's all good, man. Yeah, I'll start with ATD. Um, obviously the trips are great, and I think Cooperstown was, you got Beltray, I got Helton. Those interviews are things that we're never going to forget, and obviously the experience itself. Those are things that we take with us beyond ATD, and that's more life moments. And we've had some very good ones this past year, but ATD wise, complete just business standpoint, I'm gonna have to say the adversity that we faced, man. There was a lot thrown at us, and I remember the one topic that we all go to, and I remember I was covering the Reading Phillies, man. I was in the middle of a player interview, and I just got done, and we got some bombshell news, but we didn't waver, man. We continued with it, and I think that speaks volume for us. And you know, baseball season wise, I gotta say, Nick Swisher, that interaction,
Oh yeah.
that was amazing. That was really cool. I actually had a moment with that. Yesterday, I wore the T-shirt that he gave me,
Oh
and
nice.
yeah, I put it on after my shower, and I looked in the mirror. I was like, "Damn, Nick Swisher, he gave me that." That's one of those moments that you just you don't forget those things, and obviously, I just have to say, the the run that the Yankees went on, man. 2009. I was a 9-year-old kid last time I saw that they were in the World Series, and that was big for me. And I think seeing Judge reach 300 homers, I think that was really cool. And obviously Shohei, man, the 50-50, I think that was absolutely wild. Um, yeah, no, it was a good season overall, and the baseball world got the World Series that we've been hoping for years, man. So I think it's a huge win. I love seeing the ratings go up for the sport. That's amazing. We saw that this past year. So yeah, for people who say like Cam Newton, for example, for people who
Oh
say
yeah.
baseball is a dying sport, get the hell out of here, man. You still got those diehards at heart, and this game's growing, man. And I'm excited for it. 2024 was a great year, but I think overall, I'm looking forward to 2025 and see what it has to offer.
I agree. Uh, I have multiple favorites here, but uh, you mentioned the Nick Swisher, just the Florida trip as a whole. Like
Yeah,
for me, it was very enjoyable. Um, going to Florida for the first time, I heard things about that state. Uh, I wasn't, I don't know what people were talking about. I enjoyed my time over there. I liked it. I
Hmm.
liked Tampa was beautiful. It was nice. The weather was nice. Got to be in the water. That was cool. Going to spring training. I had obviously, since we've been doing this, I had never been to spring training before. We
Yeah.
went to Arizona 2023. We went to Florida in 2024. That was fun. Getting the other side's perspective of spring training. Obviously, yeah, you mentioned the Cooperstown. That was crazy. Um, kind of more, and it doesn't happen that often for me, but I appreciate because there's been multiple people at my personal job that that see my face and they recognize me from ATD. That means a lot, man. It does.
Oh
There was
yeah.
like a handful of people throughout the season at Dodger Stadium that saw me like, "Hey, are you Melo ATD?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." It's like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, I appreciate that. That means a lot, Like when people come up to me and say, "Oh yeah, I love the post." I appreciate it. Like it means a lot to us. It makes us um it always it's a reminder that hey, maybe we are doing something good. We
Yeah.
are doing a good job. Because listen, in this media business, there's days where you can beat yourself up, and
Easily.
you can beat yourself up for either something you posted or something didn't do that well that you put time into it. But then you get little stuff like that, and it's a wash, and it makes it go all the way. Yeah, Shohei 50-50, that was crazy. I got to see Shohei Ohtani's first full season as a Dodger in person. Like that's crazy. I'm gonna remember that like 20 years from now, and then they won, of all
Mhm.
things. So, um, I listen. I have stories from this just from 2024 alone that I'll be telling my friends, my family, my hopefully my future kids forever and grandkids. Like I have stories from this year that man, like I can't wait to tell them.
Oh
But
yeah.
hopefully, I still got a long time from that. I don't want any kids anytime soon. So
It's all good, man. I am patiently waiting for that uncle title. So don't worry.
that's gonna be a while, believe me. It's gonna be unless I, forget the plan B and ooh, it's there's nothing I could do about it at that point. But
Understand.
yeah, no kids in the future. But um, in terms of baseball, and I could say it because we beat them. I really enjoyed the Mets season. I did. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like outside of the Dodgers, like on MLB TV, I was flipping the Met game on a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mainly because I like Ron Darling, Gary Cohen, and I like Keith Hernandez. I like listening to their broadcasts. But also too, this Mets team, one, I was watching them because it was comical. Some of the things that they were doing on the baseball field from the beginning of the season was kind of funny, and then they quickly turned into this gimmick, with grimace and everything, and they turned it around. So towards the end of the season, the Mets were in this postseason pennant race. I was watching Met games. I was
Oh
watching the Met games. So it sucked that we had to eliminate them because I mentioned it to you during the postseason. I had the Dodgers either not made it past San Diego or they had not made it into the postseason. All I would have cheered for the Mets to get pretty far because they were a fun team this year. They
yeah.
were a likable, fun team. So that's another one. And lastly, I loved nothing more in 2024 than watching the San Diego Padres completely fall flat on their faces in front of national television. Um, it was getting so annoying hearing San Diego fans talk about 2022. Oh, we beat you. It's like, okay, good. You flamed out and lost to the Phillies the next round. So it was so nice to watch the Padres fall flat on their faces the last two games in Game 4 and in Game 5 at home. I put out a list last week of the top 5 games that I saw at Dodger Stadium. There were 2 Padre games in there. It I don't again. I don't think it's a rivalry. I know San Diego does, and I know some Dodger fans do, but I'm not there, man. Like San Diego's been good for a couple seasons, man. Like
Yeah.
you're never gonna be on the level of the Giants. You're never. But um, outside of the Dodgers winning the World Series, watching the Padres completely fall flat on their face and vomit all over themselves on national television, that was fun. That was fun. And I hope we get to do it again next year. But um, also too, Paul Skeens, I want to throw him in there too. I know Kyle, you weren't a fan of his this season, but um, watching Paul Skeens uh, be as good as advertised, start the All Star game, you know, rookie of the year. That I'm glad that he was better than advertised. I'm looking forward to seeing him in 2025, a full season of Paul Skeens. That's gonna be fun. But Kyle, unless you got anything else, I think we're just gonna wrap it up here.
I don't think so, man. I think that's about it. That's gonna do it for 2024.
Yes, 2024 is in the books. Um, see you next year. We'll see you next year. Next time we see each other will be 2025. And the next
Whoa,
time you hear our voices, it'll be 2025. And we'll still be here.
100%, always.
I don't want to sign off. I don't want to leave 2024. Thank you to everybody who listened to us throughout the year. Hope you continue to listen to us in 2025.
Yes,
And continue to follow our content in 2025. We got more good stuff coming.
always.
Kyle, we'll see you next week. Happy New Year to you and your family, and I will see you in 2025.
You as well, man.
Adios.